নুরি স্যার একটু টিচারদের জয়েন করতে বলেন না, টিচারদের একটু জয়েন করতে বলে দেন না।
স্যার টিচাররা তো স্যার ইয়েতে লাইভ জয়েন করবে।
লাইভ সেটা কোথায়? সবই তো অনলাইনে হচ্ছে।
হ্যাঁ অনলাইনে।
তাহলে টিচাররা
আর এই ইয়েতে
ও আচ্ছা, ক্যাম্পাস টিভিতে জয়েন
হ্যাঁ
করছে কি?
হ্যাঁ 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 স্যার।
ও আচ্ছা, ওইজ
তাহলে
ওকে।
এখানে কিন্তু স্যার দেখা যাবে না, এখানে 10 জন পার্টিসিপেন্ট মানে কিন্তু স্যার
আই
দেখা যাবে
এম
না।
সো সরি,
স্যার,
ইয়া ইটস ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ,
হ্যাঁ
থ্যাংক ইউ।
স্যার।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ স্যার।
আমি 1 মিনিটের মধ্যে আসছি।
Host, start please.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all doing well today. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome you to this insightful session on AI-driven key opportunities for academia and industry, agriculture, and healthcare. We are thrilled to have such a distinguished lineup of speakers and participants joining us this morning. My name is Fatimatu Zohra Sadia. I'm from CIS Department, Daffodil International University, and I'm majoring in artificial intelligence in IoT. And I'll be your host for today's session. Today, we have with us Mr. Mohammad Sarwar Hossain Mullah, Associate Professor and Head, Department of Computing and Information System, Daffodil International University. We also have with us Professor Dr. Soyod Akhtar Hussain, Dean and Professor of CAC, Faculty of Science and Information Technology. We have with us Dr. Sheikh Rashid Haidar Noori, Professor and Head, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Daffodil International University. We are really thrilled to have with us today Dr. Emdad Khan, Professor at MIU, Iowa, United States of America. We also have with us our speaker, Dr. Mohammad Mizanur Rahoman, Professor Begum Rokeya University, Rangpur. We have with us Mr. Rafiq Hussain, Consultant, RB Technologies, California, USA. We also have with us Dr. Mohammad Nurizaman, CEO, Daffodil International University. Before we begin, a few...
We also have, Professor Dr. Noori, Head Department of CAC with us. I hope you have not missed it.
Thank you so much, sir. I have already mentioned about sir here. So before we begin, a few quick housekeeping notes. Please make sure your microphones are muted to avoid any disruptions. And if you have any questions during the session, please feel free to drop them in the comment section or the chat box, and we will address them during our Q&A session with our guests. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce and welcome our esteemed Associate Professor and Head of the Department of Computing and Information System, Mr. Mohammad Sarwar Hossain Mullah, to deliver the welcome speech. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Sadia. Assalamu alaikum and good morning to all of you. Basically, we have observing that nowadays artificial intelligence is covering almost every sphere of our life. Therefore, there is a huge demand of skilled manpower, and also it becomes a thrust sector for the new innovations. Therefore, Daffodil International University realizing this, and also we are trying to create a new, innovative manpower. Um, uh, Therefore, we are organizing these today's online sessions. At this moment, I would like to welcome today's keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Emdad sir, and also Professor Dr. Rafiq Hussain sir. Both of them basically stayed in America over a last more than 20 years. And they have a vast experience in artificial intelligence and also the related fields. And last couple of months, under the leadership of Syed Akhtar Hussain sir, we have talked much about the prospect of artificial intelligence. Basically, how can we work together? How can we skill our students? This kind of discussions the last couple of months we have. Therefore, we have organized this, formal session today. Now I would like to thanks welcome Professor Dr. Syed Akhtar Hussain, Dean FSIT, and also the today's speaker Professor Dr. Mizanur sir also will have some experience sharing session with Professor Mizanur sir as well. Then I would like to thanks Professor Nuri sir, and also and finally I would like to welcome our CEO, Daffodil Family, Dr. Nur Jaman sir, and also I welcome all the participants, those who joined today's sessions. We all are waiting to have a wonderful session today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sarwar.
Thank you so much, Sarwar Hussain Molla sir, for that warm welcome. We truly appreciate your words. Now, moving on to the core of our program, I have the pleasure to introduce the chair of this session, Professor Dr. Syed Akhtar Hussain, Dean and Professor of CSE, Faculty of Science and Information
Thank
Technology
you,
at
Sabia.
Daffodil
I
International
want to
University.
speak after the speakers. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Now, it's time to hear from our keynote speaker, someone who has made a remarkable impact in the field of artificial intelligence, Dr. Emdad Khan, professor at MIU, Iowa, United States of America. He'll be discussing AI in healthcare, exploring its overall approach and opportunities and application in various contexts. Let's welcome Dr. Emdad Khan.
Thank you, Fatima. Let me go to the slide mode here. It is my honor and pleasure to be the keynote speaker today in this great session. Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Mahbul Haq, Professor Dr. Said, Professor Dr. Nurzaman Bhai, Dr. Said Bhai, Professor, sorry, I forgot to mention that. And Dr. Nuri, Dr. Molla, and did I miss anyone? I think I have not missed anybody. If I missed, I'm sorry, I will add. Please remind me, I will add. So with that, let's get started. The idea is to go over the main slides, giving the highlights and more details. And then at the end, we have Q&A, and there are some supplemental slides for the Q&A. It is designed to make it within an hour, as we discussed before, but might be plus minus some number 5 to 7. So AI opportunities in academia and industry, helping global development. It's a great opportunity and great future for all of us. AI is getting into almost every industry. It's a multi-trillion-dollar industry. So it's a great opportunity. There are many applications: healthcare, agriculture, education, banking, automation, many other industries. We will talk more later. It's a rapidly growing global need. Because of above two, there is a great need for AI professionals. And academia and industry need to work together to develop such professionals to meet the growing demand. And along in that line, we would like to have appropriate curricular changes, both in the academia and also in the professional area. We need to ensure well alignment between academia and industry. We also would need some educational reform that we'll talk about. And we are focusing both global and local market. MIU and Internet Speech has been working with industry and academia to develop professionals for AI for last 3 years. And as you might know, recently Microsoft has announced to develop thousands of professional AI developers in India, mainly to be used by Microsoft. So this is a great validation of what we have been doing for the last 2-3 years. So it is sort of proven, the trend is given, so that's something we can use to get more excited. Daffodil International University, DIU, and Internet Speech have started working on this since April 2024, over 6 months. There are some good synergies. DIU, a major leader, has been closely working with various industries, even from the university, which is great. A strong focus on education, innovation, and entrepreneurship that DIU has. And also it has a strong focus on research. So all these things match very well, fit very well with what we have been doing last 3 years or so. So there is a good synergy, great handshake, and great possibilities. And we would like to work together to achieve our shared goals. And those are mainly great way to help Bangladesh by addressing local and global market. And also, of course, helping each other, meaning both companies and university and company. Also, information age to knowledge age to intelligence age. This is important to understand because we all know we are in the knowledge age, going into the knowledge age from information age. Information is great, but if we cannot extract correct information that are really needed, we cannot create knowledge. Now, creating knowledge is not enough because many people have knowledge, right? To differentiate ourselves, we have to go to the next step, which is intelligence age. We need to create intelligence from knowledge, then we can lead. So let's go over some background. By the way, if anyone has any burning questions, please stop me. Otherwise, it will be better if we discuss all the question and answers in the Q&A session at the end. Now, as I mentioned, we have a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity, growing market for AI. We have the capabilities that can address most of the problems and solutions we have today to address such large market. So that is also very good. Now, once we address that market, we need to have some idea a little bit, more about the type of those markets, right? So 5 top areas that we will discuss more, but at this time, it is good to at least know what those are. Conversational AI is number 1 because Gen AI, specifically LLM, has changed the world during the last 2-3 years. Then if we move into the enterprise, almost all enterprises have many processes, flows, right? Modeling is needed. And to model those, now the AI is the key. And by modeling that, it can do initial analysis. And without spending much money to implement something, we can already figure out what needs to be done. After modeling, then business folks and other experts look into it and refine it and so on. Then most of the companies, including universities, have lots of documents. And these documents need to be processed by automation, by natural language processing, by AI, by LLM, and so on. So this is another huge thing because no one has time to read all those things and create summary or other documents and so on. And then automation. The automation is number one in two areas. One is in various areas, but one is in the enterprise also, which is IT automation. We'll talk a little bit more about that later in more details. And then also we need prediction and more in machine learning. In many applications, we need to predict what might happen and align ourselves or take care of it so that before it happens, we can do something good about it. Also, there is a potential global opportunities. We can help create values for all population. AI and software as the next generation garment industry, we can think. Because Bangladesh has grown and has become to second position in garments, that's a great achievement, right? But to stay in that at that level and even progress more and more, achieve more and more, now AI will be needed. And so AI can become the next garment industry. Not saying that this garment industry will be gone, it will still be there, but with AI, it can still be enhanced further, part of the automation. Help sustainable development with growth. Sustainable development is very important because we don't want to develop something for 2-3 years and then lose the market or then struggle with the market. AI is something that if we can focus properly with all the application areas that mentioned and country-specific application areas, then the professionals that we would like to develop can address both local and global market, and that will make it more sustainable for all of us as well as our clients. And that also indirectly help global peace and prosperity, which is so important, specifically in these days. So what is AI? We all know what is AI, but this is just to set the stage so that we can discuss it in a manner that help the flow. So AI is a bunch of technologies that are connected together to achieve human-like intelligence, like sense, like we can sense in multiple ways, comprehend, we understand, we make decisions, and we act, and we can communicate and learn. And we want AI to do the same thing. Today, AI is doing it to a great extent, but still far away than human. So our goal is to help create AI more and more capable, make AI more and more capable so that we can get more juice out of it, and that will help us even more. So AI, as you know, is implemented with technologies like intelligent agents, machine learning, deep learning. These are all parts of AI, natural language processing, large language model, and so on. Each one is evolving with its own path, and together they contribute even more. And it addresses, in a combined way, such AI addresses many problems that we discuss. One complex problem is supply chain. We probably will talk about it a bit more. So to further explain what AI in general or in short, AI is something that can act like humans, can act rationally, think like humans, and think rationally. These are the four important things we need from AI because these are fundamental things in our brain. But today's AI, can do the first line, meaning act like humans to some extent and act rationally. Thinking like humans is going to take some time, and thinking rationally will also take some time, but it will come in future. So today's AI that I just explained relates to narrow AI. It's called weak AI. It's far away than what we can do in our brain. But there are many applications. So still it is a great thing, and we need to grow step by step. So most of this lecture will focus on narrow AI, but we just need to know where the other stuff coming. So general AI is going to be similar to human, but it is, as I mentioned, it will take some time. And we will go into some of the issues that will prevent us to make AI system grow too fast. We will discuss that. And then there is super intelligent AI. This is kind of hypothetical. It's just imagination, right? So it's far, far away. So not worth spending time now on that. So AI is everywhere. Why AI? So why we are talking about all those things? As you already know, and as I explained, so AI is almost everywhere. It is growing fast. Healthcare is one area we'll focus, and maybe we'll also focus on agriculture to some extent. Retail, finance, banking, manufacturing, education, travel, media, many industries are affected by AI. AI is also key for software and systems. Today's software and systems are great, but with AI, system part of software is going to be enhanced further or needs to be enhanced further. We'll discuss more on that. AI and AI-based systems that include conventional software will continue to grow fast with an accelerated rate. This is a difference, big difference. We will discuss more on this, but at the outset, when you bring AI, its behavior is different than today's, software behavior. Behavior means its behavior, its life cycle, its ingredients. They are way different. So our goal by providing or by preparing professionals, we also mean that those professionals will need to learn in such a way so that our goal will be met, meaning that we will make sure that AI developers and software developers can get together and learn more effectively so that they can make both more valuable to the industry. So in the AI-driven world, we have this diagram which will give us some idea about AI in a little bit more details. So in the middle, we have next generation internet. Today's internet is great, we know, but still it is not the way that we are looking for. Today's internet, if we compare with say 3 years back internet before Copilot, right? Today Copilot is giving us a lot more results, lot more reliable and specific results than a search engine can do, right? I'm sure you have tried. If you try Google versus, I'm not putting anybody criticizing, I'm just saying, Google search versus Microsoft Copilot, then you can see you can get a lot more refined results. So that helps everyone. And I'm sure Google will do the same thing, similar thing with Gemini soon. So this is great, but internet needs more. For example, in a company website, company information, we cannot use the way we use the internet. Yes, we can use RAG and other stuff that I will talk about, but there is still, it's not exactly, we want to make each enterprise information system very intelligent. And that's part of the AI, I mean, internet and the internal information like internet, they all need to be equally valuable and equally capable. That's what I'm trying to mean. Then internet for everyone is still many people today do not have access to the internet. And from internet speech, one of the things we did a long time ago was provide, defined and designed internet that could be accessed by making a phone call from any landline phone or from a basic mobile phone. At that time, around 2000, there was no smartphone. And still users are using that just by making a phone call and then, listening to the internet content. They cannot see it. But the goal is to make that available naturally by voice and visually as well to all population. That's why internet for everyone is still important. It makes even more sense. Global development via education, innovation, and entrepreneurship. So this was mentioned before. We'll focus more on this, but this is related to the fact that we would like to develop professionals. And innovation, education, and entrepreneurship together, those professionals can go extra miles, which will help everyone. And then, as I mentioned, we need to go from information to knowledge to intelligence, which is explained before. On the top two sides of this center triangle, center circle, you can see on the left side is AI transformation. On the right side is digital transformation. So digital transformation is basically, after we digitized all the information in an enterprise, then we enable digital transformation so that, some new product services can be exploited, figuring out, what else will customer like, which one will give more profits, which one will be more attractive to users, and we come up with a new product. So digital transformation is important. And now AI-driven digital transformation on the left side here, that one is also more important because AI transformation makes it more intelligent, right? So this is why all these are needed. Then the knowledge intelligence professionals we talked about, which is very important to help the whole process. And AI and software as a next generation garment mentioned before. On the right side, below digital transformation, we have sustainable growth, which mentioned, and then top industries that we also discussed. Today, our focus is to discuss more on healthcare and agriculture. So let's look into the benefits of AI. We talked a lot about what is AI, how it can help to some extent, and some of the ingredients. But let's see what, money talks always, right? We need to find out the benefits, whether it's money or whether it's benefits some other way is still important. So there are multiple benefits. First of all, as a human, we are great thinker, great logical reasoning people, but we make mistakes. If something is, we know what we meant, but we may say something else. Or we know what we need to write, but we might write it in a wrong way. Same way with the numbers, right? So humans make errors. That errors cost us a lot. But with AI, AI does not know anything else but to find that error and fix it, or at least show that error because it has that intelligence. We made it more capable from that angle. And AI can minimize cost by doing that. Automation that we talked about, AI can automate and save a lot of money, a lot of time. AI can make quick decision making, so which is also great. And improving processing and workflows, that's also very important, right? So these are not really new. We all know it. So just to put things in context, several years ago, before typewriter, right? People use their nice handwriting to sell, to write an essay or whatever, or letter and sell it, earn money. Then typewriter came in, then people thought that, okay, all the penmanship people will be gone. And it happened, most of them were gone except those who got converted into typist. But then computer came and then a lot of typists lost their jobs. So trend is whenever something new come, we come up with new strategy, convert ourselves to match with that what has come. Internet, mobile, we have seen many, many applications. This is another one. This AI is going to kill some jobs. We will show you later, but it is going to create a lot more jobs. And that's the jobs we are talking about that we would like to help form and meet the demand. AI also risk mitigation. So that's also saving. And 24/7 is a great advantage, right? Because we all now got used to 24/7. We can go to any website, any customer support, automated way, we can get data, services, blah, 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 right? So AI is here to stay and grow because when it helps, when it makes money and lower cost, it's a no-brainer. So let's do a simple example now after covering some slides. And before the example, I will open up for any burning questions for anyone. All right, if not, then let's do this. I'm going to show you NVIDIA one. Stanford one is 10 minutes, which we don't have time. Maybe we can show later. That's more university-like, also industry-like, but this one more industry-like. So this is only 2.5 minutes. So let's do this one first. I hope it will play nicely. Let's see.
এমদাদ ভাই সাউন্ড শোনা যাচ্ছে না।
Oh,
মনে হয় প্রথম
let
থেকে
me
একবার
stop. Let me stop it and see what is going on. Any thoughts? I don't see any reason because the speaker is there and I can hear everything. So maybe
এইখানে একবার একটু এসেছিল সাউন্ডটা, পরে আবার দেখলাম অফ হয়ে গেল।
ওকে, তাহলে আবার দেখি, দেখে আবার শুরু করে দিই।
না, হচ্ছে না। ঠিক আছে, আমার মনে হয় এটা না দেখলে কি বোঝা যাবে আসলে
Can you hear it now?
নাকি আমি একাই শুনছি না? আপনারা কি শুনছেন?
আমরা
একটু
না,
আসছে,
স্যার,
sound is coming, but it's a little low. It's okay, but sound is coming. একটু low voice.
Let me stop for a second. আপনারা শুনছেন? Was it audible?
না,
একটু
আপনাকে
very
শুনছি,
lightly,
ভিডিও শুনছি।
very lightly. বোধহয় জামান ভাইও শুনতে পাচ্ছেন না, নুরুজ্জামান ভাই শুনতে পাচ্ছেন না।
তাহলে
না, আপনারা শুনলে অসুবিধা নাই, ঠিক আছে। Go ahead,
ভাই
please.
একবার চালান এবং আপনার ওখানে আমি মনে হয় একবার চালান, আমরা সাইলেন্টলি একটু শোনার চেষ্টা করি।
তাহলে আমি ব্যাক করতে প্রথম থেকে করছি।
জি।
This kind of deep learning AI applications that operate Hey. একটু আসে একটু আসে ইয়ে
Most kinds of things, simple decisions, really those could help us right now.
আবার অ্যাপ্লাই করছে So basically we'll see the systems that are able to plan.
There's a tremendous amount of information that's in your record in your recent years, such as other genomic data. And what they look at is when we really can marry early information with imaging to know everything about the patient.
And then we deliver the care that the person needs as quickly as possible and as precise as possible. Then what will happen? People who are scared of AI today might be able to live without it. I do believe that we basically stand on the verge of this new revolution. We're basically using data and the enormous capabilities to analyze it. We'll be able to change that.
In the healthcare industry, we have a lot of sort of manual handling of documents and basically these manual processes, right, that have been happening for a very long time. So the simplest thing is AI will help reduce costs through the use of text technologies and speech technologies.
AI will automate much of what we do today that's manual. AI can learn and help us in making better decisions and diagnosis.
And I think what we are also going to start seeing is this kind of deep learning AI applications that operate on huge amounts of data that previously were not feasible.
Right now, I think we're already poised in some fields to really implement AI in the workflow. So in radiology, for example, we have a lot of pain points, which we feel AI could really help us bring better care to the patients. Those kinds of things, triage, helping us with some simple decisions, really those could help us right now.
So probably the first thing, we are going to see the human modalities, right? So we basically will see these systems that are able to talk using, voice.
I think there are two things going on. Let me cancel
the way
it.
other people communicate to us.
There's a tremendous amount of information that's in the record
Maybe that's
in
why
more
you didn't
recent
hear.
years, such as all their genomic data. And what we look in the future for is when we really can marry all the information about the patient and all the imaging to know everything about the patient.
You want to deliver the care that a person needs as quickly as possible and as precise as possible to their need. That will happen. People who are scared of AI today won't be able to live without it.
I do believe that we basically stand on the verge of this new revolution where basically using data and the enormous capabilities to analyze it will be able to change their lives and hopefully help people control their conditions and prevent them from having these conditions ahead of time.
I think if you can show to the care provider that these AI tools can allow them to respond faster to their patients, allow them to be more accurate in their predictions or diagnoses, thereby providing a better outcome for the patient, I think that will aid traction within the clinical environment.
Organizations such as hospitals really need to think about this and how they're going to manage this kind of addition to their operation.
When you see the tools you put together help someone, make their lives better, easier, more efficient, they're happy with it, that brings me joy.
I hope it is stopped. If not, probably I don't have the control to stop it. Are you able to hear it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. All right. So what we will do, we will skip the other one.
So can you share your screen again?
Okay, sure. Let me close this one. And okay, you see my screen now. So what I suggest is after that, both links are here. Those of you who could not listen, please click it later and listen to it. I know it's not very good, but at least what they talked about is various applications. And because it is from NVIDIA, they emphasize mostly on the computing power, from the computing power standpoint. The Stanford one is a little different. They talk more about the application standpoint and theoretical background more. So that's also important. And if we have time, we will do it later after it is done. So with that, let's move into the next one. Now, what happened with my... Okay, so this one. You see my screen, but okay, now it's good. Okay, so I go to slideshow and I just need to go there quickly. Okay, so now we go talk about the, am I audible?
Yes, you are, sir.
Okay, great, thank you. So now we are talking about, so we'll talk about more about healthcare in a few slides later. This was just the introduction of AI, but picked healthcare as a sample application. But our goal, as per the title of the talk today, is to focus more on the healthcare. So we'll get to that. And there is no video on it, so everything should be fine. So key components of AI. So first thing is the intelligent agent. And intelligent agent is basically like a human. And human needs, like we have eyes, ears, mouth, and many things to brain to make everything work, right? So intelligent agent will have similar things. These are basically machine learning, reinforcement learning, deep learning, natural language processing, generative AI, including GANs, generative adversarial neural network, VAEs and LLMs, and knowledge graph. Knowledge graph is also very important. We will talk about it in more detailed explanation of healthcare. And analytics is always very important because we do all those things to find out all the analytics information so that we can move forward accordingly. So with that, this is the crux of AI, which is an intelligent agent. You can see that there is an environment and there is AI with two legs and one hand on the right side. So in our case, right now, we are interacting with each other using the internet as the environment. So to make it easier, let's assume that this agent is driving. So in that case, environment will be road, right? So this autonomous driving agent, it needs to percept what in front of its car, what is in front of the agent or the agent in a car, assume what other objects are in front of that. Maybe people walking, maybe there is a blockage, maybe there are cars, maybe there is an accident. All those things will be understood like we do by the perception. But so we need to give appropriate cameras, appropriate other sensors, GPS, blah, 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 so that all those information come to this agent, AI agent, so that it has the similar information that we get as a human. And then it needs to take action. So if it needs to accelerate, then it will accelerate, or decelerate, it will decelerate. Need to take left turn on left or right turn, things like that. So all these decisions need to be made here. Now assume that we are designing this autonomous car, right? Which is a very complex project, right? And in doing so, we need to understand everything, what actions we need to take. And
sir, could you please share your screen? We can see the slides.
Sorry, thank you. I thought maybe when we did the video, it disappeared, right? So, I need to expand it, then I will see it. Okay. So here. Let me go to the full screen. Is it viewable now?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for reminding me. So let me repeat that quickly again. So like autonomous car is the car that where you see two legs in one hand, and it needs to understand what's in front of it, what objects are moving, because environment is the road. Road has cars, other trucks, and other objects, and so on. So it does not have an eye, so we have to give camera as an eye. It needs to know the GPS because it does not cannot figure out which way to turn and all those things. So we need to give all those capabilities as sensors, and then it needs to act, whether accelerate or decelerate. Those are the actions. And actions are taken by these actuators. Like if we want to walk, we use legs, right? If we want to run, we may use our hands. So these are the actuators. So like human, it has sensors and it has thinking capability, which we will design. And then we have to give the mechanism to we have to create the actuators and mechanism for those actuators to move, whether movement may be walking, movement may be running, maybe driving a car, or maybe something else. So this is the whole idea of intelligent agent. That means an agent is needed. Like when we drive a car, our brain is the main driver. Passengers are there. They don't care which way I'm driving unless, I'm about to have an accident, they might scream. But other than that, they are relaxing, right? But here, this agent's job is the same thing, right? So we need to make sure we design it correctly. And there is a big gap between its understanding and our understanding, right? So that's why it is so important. And it's true for any AI application. So as we go more details in next few slides. Now, like a company, like a university, has a CEO, right? Or vice chancellor and so on, top level. And then there are, deans and heads and other officers, right? All of them are agents, right? Human agents. But even on the human agents, the top person has a lot more responsibility and controllability, and then it goes down as a hierarchy. Same thing with AI. For AI, we have to do not just one agent. Driver needs multiple agents. So driver needs an agent that can give all the image correctly. It needs an sub-agent that will give all the GPS information correctly, right? Like that. So an agent that will do actuators correctly. So those are sort of sub-agents you can think, right? So, or there might be agents in the car for the passengers, and passengers are communicating, and if that creates noise or problem to the main driver, that main agent will say, stop that, right? So we need that hierarchical multi-level agents in the software design using AI. Now, we will cover the applications, specifically healthcare. And you can see AI is in the center, and we have healthcare, we have natural language processing, customer service, transportation. So I'm jumping into healthcare a little bit more, and we'll try to make it short because it seems like we are also approaching an hour. So in healthcare, the first thing to understand is, what are the benefits? Where are the main applications? So AI for heart monitoring is understandable, right? So that it can figure out heart is working properly or not. Diagnostic AI to figure out, is this person has a cancer or what kind of problems he or she has. Personalized medicine, which is a very important area with AI, because these days we take, general medicine we all take, but general medicine was designed for population in mind, not person specific, right? That's why we have so many side effects and so on. EHR, electronic health record and data analysis, drug discovery and development. This is very important because big companies who are making drugs, discover drugs and develop it, they need lots of AI, lots of intelligence, because these drugs they are making must be good, should have less side effects, should not be too expensive, should meet the regulatory constraints, all these things. And patient health monitoring, virtual assistants, and I'm skipping those, but you have a nice idea. We have a nice idea about what these applications are. Now, let's see what are the benefits. I mentioned some benefits when talked about applications, but here it is more clear. Using AI for better patient outcomes, because patient outcomes will be better if AI can make decisions quickly. I will show you some examples. AI can notify that patient, medicine ran out. So AI can automatically create so that delivery people will deliver it or ship, mail it or whatever. Improve care team coordination, because team coordination is another important thing. Reduce staff burnout. Many staff work so hard in healthcare, they get frustrated sometimes. And AI can do the mundane jobs. There are two types of jobs or three types of jobs. Some jobs we always get excited. Some job as a human we are okay, and some job we hate. Because like if somebody give me a job to multiply, 2 to the power 93, will I do that? No, it will take 2-3 days, right? Too big number, right? But with even iPhone, we can do it in 30 seconds or so, right? So we need AI to help us that we don't want to do. So this is why, staff burnout, they leave the company when there are too much work. So AI help there and so on. Now let's move into AI in healthcare. One important common AI application in healthcare is called home healthcare. Because we are talking about global and local market, and healthcare is pretty much same for both. Even in Bangladesh, people, patient may not have time to go to the hospital and sit there for a long time and all those things, right? If AI can do those things, in this case, the idea is a big hospital will create some centers where from that center, they will go to people's houses. And by going to people's houses, they will take care of many things, including, admission or including revisit, providing medicines and so on. And the key reason is basically, as you see probably in the below bullet, studies found that some applications like going and providing service, doctor as well as nurses going into a region and providing service in certain areas where people are living, can save 80% of the initial recommended hospitalization. So when patient came in, doctor thought that this person needs to be hospitalized because of the symptom, blah, blah, blah. But when they really outsource it to the centers where they go and find out, then found that no, that's not the case. Actually, they don't need so much hospitalization because, a lot of small things, medium things can be done by the nurse and other doctors so that prevented ahead of time, almost in real time, quickly. So that's why the hospitalization cost has minimized significantly. So this is one area. And this problem, so there are two problems. One is what AI can do, that's what I will show. And I will also show the first one where hospital has to plan to make an unit where there will be, there will be staff, there will be cars to go to people's house, there will be other supplies, right? Those, any university, any company have those kind of flows and resource allocation, planning, and all those things. That part is this part. This is the best I could do. I hope you can see it. I will not spend too much time on this, just to give you the highlights of that. So here you can see that there are 3 dimensions. Vertical, which is planning, right? Planning means, you are making some center, where from center, doctors and other nurses, other people will go to patient home, right? So to do that, it needs to be scheduled. So there are a few things. One is in this top direction is strategy. Strategy means, how big the faculty will be, facility will be, and how you are going to distribute. So we don't need to understand this in more detail. I'm just giving you in general. Then some tactical level. Tactical level is fleet assignment, which truck or the car or jeep you will assign, who will work in which shift and so on. Then operational level. Operational level is which person will go today and which route, blah, blah, blah. So these things in general is called operational research. It's an operational research problem you can see on the top. And if you're interested as a researcher, you can read the whole thing in this link. Now, this simple problem, relatively simple if the plant is small, can be done with algorithms, operation research algorithms. But when it gets bigger, larger, then algorithm fails because it is too expensive and, we need flexible algorithms like machine learning and so on. So that's the part we are moving into. So in one direction is planning, one direction is resources. So last resource will be, like management. So one is planning, one is management. Management has network design, who will go where, how, transportation management, staff management, and inventory management, because people are going there, they have to have all the materials that is needed by the patient. And then we have here services for the patient. So patient, maybe the first time patient called, busy or got sick or something, and they came and need to admission. Admission means this information will go to central office, right? And so all the data, although shown here, these are not, this is a pseudo kind of thing, but not physically located thing. So here patient, all the information that will be collected, I will show you in the next slide more clearly. But here, so patient, if the patient, is not new, then this can be bypassed or simplified. Then visiting patients, because this is second time they are visiting and so on, and medical needs and all those things will be done in this dimension. So these are three-dimensional problem. Now we want to design a software. So this is designed by operational research. We don't need to understand too much, but we need to understand from the aspect that when our software engineers will join, they need to understand what these guys are doing to some extent, right? Because now the things that I will show in the next slide that we will develop as an AI expert, we need to know that those things are matched with these plant functions, right? So this is why the next slide is important. So now this is an intelligent agent. So this AI we are designing. This AI's job will be three things. One is, so the doctor or nurse came here and talking to the patient. So doctor's job will be, or patient job, the nurse's job will be ask questions, right? How are you? What is the problem? Blah, blah, blah. So that can be done by voice. So we need speech recognition, or patient may not be talking. Patient might using, screen or text or something, whatever. Then they can use text to speech, speech to text and text to speech as well. Or patient may show something, right? Or nurse or doctor can show patient's data, on their devices. On these same devices, they can show this, and then or in their own other devices, and then this AI will understand, will take that information. Also, they can talk naturally, and if they talk naturally, then they can use that information. AI can use that information. So this is the information exchange, sensing and interacting with various systems that can provide all the information. Then there may be medical record data is changed. Maybe some medical test results got changed. So there is a need to learn, relearn. So we need machine learning here. This is machine learning part. And then this agent need to make a decision, because if doctor makes decision or nurse make decision, that takes too long, right? So we are developing AI to help them, right? AI is basically assisting human, right? So that's what we are designing here. So then this AI that we will design will make a decision. Okay, this patient need to go to the hospital or need to give this medicine or need to have further test and blah, 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 right? So that is a planning. Then it needs to also, before planning or during planning and scheduling, it needs to understand if something it can say to the patient right now so that nurse or doctor can see what AI is saying. It can do that using its own decision-making process so that it is easier for doctors or nurses to get information right away and give it to the patient. And then it needs to optimize because human optimization is not always good. So it needs to optimize. So we have optimization also part of AI and modeling and so on. So this is what our professional students we need to teach them. We need to make courses, nicely explain them so that they can do this part. And then they need to understand the surrounding system that I showed before and what are needed so that complete knowledge is essential. That's why AI is basically a system design. It's not just one component design. Otherwise, right hand may not know what left hand is doing and system will break. Because these two are complex slides, if you have any questions, you can note down. So I'll come back to slide number 25. Now, we have been working together with DIU for about 6 months, more than 6 months. We came up with these focus areas initially to focus. So just showing that. And then this slide I'm skip right now because this is similar one where we embedded the technology with the applications. So machine learning, reinforcement learning, all those things with application like recommended systems or customer segmentation, prediction, blah, 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 forecasting. So this is now very important and let's see how we are doing time. So if I finish in 12 minutes, will that be okay?
Yes, sir, you can take your time.
Okay, thank you. So new jobs driven by AI. This is very important to understand because, this is new. So we should not assume that most of the students will know that. So, and faculty. So AI itself requires many humans to design, train, and refine AI algorithms. For example, the one I showed you. So this leads to the creation of roles that haven't existed before until now. Because I will compare the traditional software developer we already know. We didn't have to get into so much details about understanding the system, about machine learning and all those things, vision, speech, all those things were not needed. Now they are all needed. And so this is one type of job. Another job, so this type of job, top-level AI folks need to have good understanding about all the components of the system. Second is AI specialist. Big companies always have problems to understand because AI is moving so fast. Management, next level management and other colleagues have no concrete idea. They all know it is AI, it is good, but what is related to what, how to progress, how to make it optimal, what are the next steps? They need some AI specialist. So I'm going hierarchically, more complex to complex, less complex. Then third one is AI-based software and system developers. So here it is growing very fast. This is where most of our students will be. Because to reach the first and second level will take some time, but I'm showing it so that they know where the boundaries are. So here we will talk more in other slides in detail. Basically, as I mentioned, traditional software and AI software are different. So we'll show you how to merge them. And then comes the generative AI. Now, first, second, third has been there for a while, but just after 2 years, 2 years back, Gen AI came in. And it shook the world in a big way. And in this case now, we are looking for conversational AI, intelligent search, Q&A, even understanding the knowledge and data is also very important. And for over there also, we need Gen AI, we need natural language processing, we need knowledge graph. We'll talk about it a little bit more. I will, before I forget, I will just mention it here one more time. So this AI, all the data it took some by machine learning, it took some vision and all those things, image processing, but it also needed the data of the whole enterprise in a knowledge form. That knowledge can be created by knowledge graph. Table-based approach is not very good because a graph-based approach can figure out, which node is related to which node and what kind of connections they have, what kind of properties they have, how they change. So that's what gives us the knowledge. Regular machine learning don't give us knowledge. It gives some knowledge, but not connections between entities. It gives knowledge to predict something. It gives knowledge to classify something, or cluster something, but it does not give us any knowledge what a system has. That's why we need knowledge graph. And there are neural network with knowledge graph like graph neural network and graph convolutional neural network. So that's what is needed to find out all the relations I've mentioned before, how everything fit together. We also need knowledge graphs. So that's what is needed here. Yes. So, okay, I was here. Yeah. So this is generative AI. This is very common now in the industry. This second from the bottom bullet. Here, we need to focus a lot because this is where people are making money and companies' needs are highest right now. And then document processing that I mentioned before. So AI was going with its own flow, but then Gen AI changed everything in a drastic way. So we need to focus now into both with appropriate ratio based on the customer. That's what we are doing with our customers. So some new current jobs driven by AI. So DevOps. Most of you know DevOps because that's conventional software engineer do. But now we need ML ops, machine learning ops, which is similar to DevOps, but what machine learning how machine learning can work together with ops people. Then AI ops. AI ops is very important because every industry has IT. IT is a big expense and IT needs to be operated because the company's internal IT, if not managed properly, then things can break and it may take a long time. If it is not scalable, you cannot provide your service and blah, blah, blah. So those things are needed why the AI ops helps that. And then we have LLM ops where we can manage LLMs, everything automated. And here we have things like RAGs and others, which I will probably show in another slide. But LLM ops basically, so like DevOps, operation people work with the dev people, right? So that it is smooth. Problems are solved ahead of time or predicted ahead of time and solved ahead of time. Same with ML ops, same with AI ops, now same with LLM ops. But with LLM ops, it is more complex because of the RAG. LLM ops also need to take graph as an input. So there are more complexity there, which probably can itself be a separate talk. Then AI, ML, LLM, and NLP developers. That's relatively, I should not say relatively easier at the same level. Then AI engineer, ML engineer, LLM engineer. This is also hot now, very hot because of the LLM. AI-based software, hardware, and system developers. This is very key. Specifically at the end of the day, software people cannot do everything because it's a system, hardware is needed. And we talked about it in our quite a few discussions before. So this is also very key and it's good for Bangladesh and Rafiq Bhai with his knowledge in hardware and refining that with AI, edge devices and AI will help a lot. Then intelligent agent developers. This is very key as you have seen. Intelligent agent can be small agent, medium agent, high agent. High agent will go to the top level, but medium will go in between and small will go below or same level. And I mentioned AI specialist before. And just to emphasize, agent developer complex and top of the pyramid. This is the key right now because most of the problems are right there where they don't have good agents. Now, integration is important. I will fast forward, just mention. These are all needed for our students. There are three types of integration: application integration, and it is now with the cloud, it's very easy to do, no code or low code integration platform as a service. So all the platforms were designed in such a way so that you can kind of plug in with low code or no code. So this is very good. And when we do the cloud in Bangladesh, we will do the same thing there. ISC is the one that I mentioned before, integration infrastructure as a code. So IT operations, to manage it manually or pseudo manually, is not very good. It's still, it takes human to write some code, and ISC eliminate that because ISC can automate to reconfigure infrastructure needs, allocating resources, and so on automatically. Then we also have tool-based integration, a middleware that can be relatively simple to complex to enable applications integrations. And for example, Jenkins, GitLab, GitHub, these are all good things all students should know because they will need to use all these things. And then API, REST API is important, we know, because some of the calls need to be made by the APIs as well, many of them actually. So major types of development integration tools driven by AI continue. So ML tools, frameworks, TensorFlow, PyTorch. We cannot, teach everything, but we give them the direction with one or two, like TensorFlow and PyTorch are on the top of the list, and the rest they can learn. And in the lab, we can train them other things, which I think DIU has been doing already. Then data engineering tools, Apache Spark Synapse, all those things, Docker. I will fast forward and jump into Neo4j. This is the graph database, very popular. Neo4j is very key. We need to teach that diligently because that will be needed for almost all applications. And RAG too. Data integration, types of integration, data integration, enterprise service bus was old, but is still used now. Cloud integration we talked about, and web services integration are still there to some extent, but most importantly, IoT and mobile app integration. Mobile apps, there are many integration platforms, but IoT is sort of new, so more work is needed, more learning is needed here. And this is some of the tools to do integration. We can use SnapLogic, very popular. This I mentioned before. API I mentioned. Hugging Face, important. LangChain, important. Snowflake, these are all important. But we can do basically with Hugging Face, with LangChain. It is not enterprise ready always because it has issues. So it's good for research, good for toy problems. It's still good. But for enterprise level, we have to do, we have to do beyond those. And good thing is cloud has almost everything. All the top 3 clouds has everything. So once we teach our student, they can quickly make many things and bring to the highest level or very efficient level with other developers soon. And then vector database is needed because, LLM uses are all embedding as vectors. And graph database is needed because we need graph for knowledge. And these are the major cloud platforms, and it's not easy to hard to learn and so on. Now, last but not least is the software engineer's role and associated gaps. This is very important. We mentioned that there is a gap. They are different. So now let's go through it in details. Thinking more from system angle, as I mentioned, it is a system because we're solving problem of system. Also think from algorithm angle. This is another area. If students know, anyone knows more algorithm, they are more attracted to the industry because that's one of the key. Ultimately, we are solving complex problem that tools cannot solve, right? That's why algorithmic knowledge coming from our brain. So that's very important. And higher problem solving capabilities when human is good at, right? So software developers need to learn those things more than the tools, standard tools, because standard tools can be done in an automated way now, specifically with Copilot. And need to learn how to design event-driven system, correct orchestration, because orchestration is pretty much dynamic and event-driven. So these are new things. Agentic nature, because traditional software does not need an agent. So AI software needs an agent. So we need to think about from agent standpoint. Rapid changes and scalability, auto coding, co-pilots are doing it, then someone needs to verify. And software development lifecycle is changed in a major way, because in a traditional software, we do specification, then we do modeling, then we do architecture, design, test, and blah, 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 right? But here, things are different, because once a software is deployed, until next version comes, it is there. But in case of AI, ML, LLM, things change on a regular basis. Every day, new data will come, data will change. We need to retrain, reevaluate, monitor, things like that. So those things need to be integrated in an intelligent way so that the whole system works properly. And so the gap is conventional software engineers. Conventional software we write by algorithms, and then we implement that with software blocks and so on. And once that is done, then until next release, we don't touch it. But here, AI software, as I mentioned, it continuously changes. So software system easily include conventional software and AI software. And engineers need to know, to some extent, both little bit. So regular software engineers may not like to do AI, but if they don't do it, they need to know at least a little bit, because in a group, when they have a meeting in the company, there will be AI group, and software engineers, if they don't understand the vocabulary of the AI folks, they will not be very useful, right? So it will be less competitive for them. So this is the main area we need to address, how we can make those software engineers who are not too much inclined for AI, how can we make them attractive? So these are few bullets. Nice and effective way to become more valuable and attractive to the industry. So if you move into, if we educate the students all the values, then they will move to the higher level. They will get higher salary, more sustainability and growth, and that will help all of us. And traditional software developer, as I mentioned, need to know at least a little bit of the AI/ML. And educational reform, we worked on that, and to some extent, but because it is 11:22, I think we should open up for the Q&A, but I am open. Whatever you suggest.
Emdad, we have another speaker, and then perhaps after that we can open Q&A. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Very good. Sounds good.
Then can we move forward?
Yes, Sadia, please.
Thank you so much,
Emdad
Dr. Khan.
Bhai, may I close the sharing? Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, sure.
For you,
Thank you so much.
I want to thank Emdad Bhai for making such a elaborative, very well structured thoughts on these particular aspects of AI, and especially covering so many different aspects you have covered, which is almost like it's a project for a few years, to my understanding. Maybe almost 5 to 10 years project in one presentation. Emdad, I appreciate it very much. So we proceed to the next segment, and I'm sure that it is going to be very nice. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And next we have Dr. Muhammad Mizanur Rahman, professor at Begum, Rokeya University, Rangpur, who will be shedding light on AI in agriculture. We are eager to hear you from Dr. Rahman. Please take it away.
Hi, hello.
You are audible, sir. You can start.
Okay. Can you see me? No.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Oh, you can see my screen. Oh, really? Okay. So maybe I have a problem in my camera. So let me share the slides.
Okay, so thank you very much for joining the webinar. So I am Dr. Mizanur Rahman, currently working as a professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at Begum Rokeya University, Rangpur. I also sometime have some communication with Daffodil International University. So let's move on. So as you know, like I'll be discussing mainly on artificial intelligence in agriculture, and in my presentation, so it is organized in a way that firstly I'll be holistically demonstrate what are the things going on in in agriculture, particularly for artificial intelligence perspective. And then I will move to the things that we are trying to do collaboratively with Daffodil International University. So let's move into the first part, that is the holistic view of AI in agriculture. So as the introduction, I can say that agriculture could be considered as the bedrock of human civilization, and which now we are seeing undergoing a profound transformation. And if you see the current statistics that is conducted by United Nations recently in 2000, maybe, the last decade. So they consider that by the mid of the century, we need at least 70% more food due to the population growth. And having this kind of requirement, we do have, a lot of constraint. For example, we have resource scarcity. We are now seeing the climate changes. We have water management issue. We have land issues. So these are the critical issues nowadays. Agriculture is facing. So in this challenge, with these challenges, what are the roles of artificial intelligence can have? If you can see that artificial intelligence can offer an unprecedented opportunities to mitigate those challenges. And if you can introduce this AI, the impact will be huge. You can enhance the crop yield, you can enhance the quality of crop, and you can optimize the resource, but still you can get growing food. So artificial intelligence nowadays is have a lot of applications. For example, it can be used for analyzing the land, for understanding the image, and can understanding different kind of the challenges that we are facing in agriculture. So we can consider that nowadays globally we are actually adapting artificial intelligence for smart farming, and we also see a growing investment in this particular field. In agri-tech, we can see a lot of big companies are also moving forward, and thereby we are seeing a smarter farming and efficient farming and sustainable farming. So if we categorize the applications of the agriculture that AI is putting its food, you can categorize them in I'm in different sector, but I put most the significance are here, like the crop disease detection, automated weed control, livestock health monitoring. Also, we all can see the predictive analysis of crop yielding, the precise irrigation system, drone assisted aerial surveillance, supply chain and demand forecasting. So these are the things, or these are the sectors currently AI is putting it steps. For example, if you consider the crop disease detection, we know that if the disease is early detected or diagnosed, then maybe the output will be better. So, for example, like nowadays, artificial intelligence, neural network, it can almost accurately can identify different diseases. For example, in apple scab disease identification, 90%, 95% time, it accurately can identify different types of disease. So AI is a very good, application for disease understanding. The same as weed control. So you see, we can see that weed negatively impact our crop yield and its efficiency. And the traditional methods, most of the cases are very much labor centric, as well as is not good for the environment. So nowadays, you definitely you can see a lot of applications or solutions. Those are used for precise spray of weeds. The same way, you can see the AI is using for the monitoring of health for the livestock. And for animal, the health issue is always crucial for its productivity and profitability. So there are, some companies or industry already grown for understanding those crucial issues. For example, the cattle eye, so one of an application that is using its AI techniques for real-time monitoring of livestock behavior and health. And by using those applications, we see it can early diagnose the disease or possible disease, and it can improve the feeding management. It can enhance the animal welfare. Same as if you see the predictive analysis of crop yielding. So if you have a good prediction model, so by using this model, you can understand that what kind of products or how much product will be in the market. So the trend can be analyzed beforehand. And if you can understand the trend, so you can optimize the planting and optimize the harvesting schedules, and thereby you can take good decision, so that overall crop yielding will be more. The same as the irrigation. So as you know, that efficient water management nowadays is a very vital issue, and solution like Arable or CropX. So these are the solution. Nowadays we are seeing that they are precisely calculating the distribution of soil moisture, climate condition, crops needs, and thereby can efficiently manage the irrigation system. Same as the drone assistant aerial surveillance. Those are the technique we nowadays seeing, that is using for monitoring of crops and autonomously try to understand that what are the things happening, thereby it real time monitoring the farmland and can take precision guided different type of initiative. So this is another sector that AI is also putting its steps. For example, in supply chain management and demand forecasting. So AI system can predict the demand and optimize the resource and inventory management, and thereby it can manages the supply chain, and so that you can spread your, or you can supply your demand to the required area. So these are the things we already seeing. So here I show some small scale farmers how they are actually using AI tools. You see here that nowadays even the small scale farmers also using AI for understanding their growth of the plant or their growth of the crops. So these are the things already we are seeing in agriculture arena. So what actually the challenges we have nowadays is, like, we need to overcome this challenge. For example, we do not have good infrastructure, particularly the internet connectivity, digital literacy gap. So these are still a challenge. So if we can overcome this challenge, maybe AI can benefit us more. Now I will be, so this is the end of my holistic view of the holistic view of artificial intelligence in agriculture. So now I'm moving. এ বাবা একটু যাও না তোমরা এখান থেকে, আদারওয়াইজ যাও, নতুবা এখানে কথা বলো, এটা কথা বলে তো। Okay, sorry. Okay, so now I'll be moving for next part, that is the agriculture dependency of Bangladesh and AI implementation in this particular field. So as you know, like, Bangladesh is very much dependent on agriculture. So if you see the statistics, so you see the major economic drive of Bangladesh, almost 15% GDP actually coming from agriculture, and almost 40% labor force are here employed in agriculture. But still you see the low productivity here, and we know the climate change making it vulnerable, and we also have the resource constraint. For example, we have limited water, we have limited land, and we have inconsistent market access. So these are the things we see in our Bangladeshi market. So AI definitely has a good prospect in Bangladeshi aspect in agriculture. So what we can do for agriculture and AI? So along with Daffodil International University, we started to develop human resource from CI's department, and we devised 7 different camp initiative, and we already conducted 1 camp for generative AI. And our observation is the camp was really fruitful. However, some students facing difficulties in mathematics. So maybe in future we'll be also concentrating those extra efforts that we need. and we still waiting for the next couple of boot camp. And we also collaboratively started product-based project. So the product-based collaborative project that we are working now is we proposed a farmland robot development. So this farmland robot will be a solution as a it will be a lightweight maneuver, navigates rough farmland without harming the crops, and inspect crop plots and detect the threats, and administrative remedies such as like fertilizer, insecticide, and weed control. Our goal is to ensure equitable distribution of AI benefits in agriculture. So the project that we are actually working for, that we are trying to develop a lightweight maneuver robot. So like as you see at the right hand side, so this robot will be having like a spoke like wheel, and it will have like a high resolution camera, a single camera, and inside it will have a container. So this container will be used for different type of tasks. For example, it can spray the insecticide, it can be used for different purposes. So these are the framework that we already propose and working for. And currently we are facing a particular challenge. So the challenge is like we have the single camera based navigation system. So the monocular camera that we have is so the single monocular camera based navigation system, when we are trying to develop, is we need to understand the depth of the terrain. So we are currently researching on that particular thing. So if we can solve this problem, so it can be a good one, because right now the navigation system mostly depends on LiDAR or stereo computer vision. However, we are actually focusing on monocular camera. So that is one thing that we are researching on. So current approach that we are using is a deep learning based model we are trying, as well as we are also using self-supervised learning. And if we can solve the problem, so we think that future of AI is future will be sustainable and reliable. So our vision is we want to transform the agriculture into a more productive, sustainable, and equitable for the industry. So at last, I can say that AI is not just an innovation, but a necessary for a modern farming. So thank you. So this is the end of my presentation.
Thank you, Dr.
If you
Mizan.
have
Very
any
nice
question or
presentation.
query,
Thank
so I can
you.
answer.
And perhaps
Thank you.
we'll conclude at the end. But it was a very, very informative, very thought-provoking, very encouraging presentation from Dr. Mizan. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Sorry for
Dr.
some
Mizanur Rahman.
disturbance.
Dr. Mizan, can you please close the sharing? Thank you.
We
Okay.
now turn to our discussion. Mr. Rafiq Hussain, consultant at RB Technologies Incorporation Limited, California, USA. Mr. Hussain, we look forward to hearing your thoughts and contributions. Is Mr. Rafiq Hussain with us?
Rafiq Bhai, can you hear us? Sadia is looking for you. Rafiq Bhai.
In the meantime, Akhtar sir, can we hear some words from you? If he's not with us right now, then.
Absolutely. I mean, I appreciate it very much. And thank you so much, Sadia, for making it very lively. First of all, I must mention that it's such a transformative journey, and the journey towards AI, especially living in the AI, living in the era of AI without AI is a very hard to, even breathe. I was just thinking in the morning, I was actually looking at some of the National Geographic presentation on, beautiful lakes and, mountain terrains of the world. But feeling that in this era of AI, living without AI is a kind of lack of oxygen, breathlessness, which we will really not be able to do it. But in order to have a very healthy life in this era, AI is the only way to integrate us, like, integrate our life is one of the requirements. And I appreciate that Emdad Bhai rightly started with the very foundation on AI, talked about all aspects of AI, including education and reformation, and practices in the healthcare in US. A very dramatic landscape you have presented in that. Bhai, thank you so much for presenting it. And Dr. exceptionally presented, especially AI in agriculture. But to be very honest, the days, like seeing days are gone now. We really want to make our hands dirty doing it now. To be very honest, when I was looking at those presentation slides, I was feeling when I will see it happening in the campus. To be very honest, it's no more a kind of waiting anymore. It's something we have to begin without any further thinking, without any deep thinking, rather doing it. And perhaps we realize that how much potential we have, and perhaps we can really bring a lot of smile in the face of our farmers who are continuously supporting us through their hard work, through their, through their extremely hard work. We live very happily. So we need to give them a smile back, which is very important. To be very honest, as I have seen, I'm very blessed. Thank you, Emdad Bhai and Dr. Mizan, for your very lovely presentation of sharing on AI, especially when it comes to transformative journey. It's very challenging. Why? Because something totally new. Emdad Bhai presented a lot of platform, tools, techniques. To be very honest, these are pretty new things for all of us. But nevertheless, starting with it is no choice, because you really have no choice left other than doing it now. So I personally feel that we are in a great team. I appreciate our heads of the departments of CIS and CSE and software engineering, especially FSIT heads and associate heads, including my associate dean. All of us are very, very keen to bring AI, and you will be very happy to know Emdad Bhai and my colleagues. We really had just in 2 days back, we had a international robotic Olympiad in this campus. And we had a grand presence of boys and girls from schools and colleges presenting their innovative projects. There are projects competition at the junior level and the senior level. And I had a biggest surprise to see projects in using drone, making, they are aware of the country system firefighting using robots, how to help country. These young kids, they are all actually creating drones and embedded system solutions and they're so curious. So we are actually having a different generation of living. It's very clear. So I was feeling that we really have to start a very quick courses, especially using drone technology, using embedded systems for firefighting, using embedded systems or IoT for farmers. All these smart training, smart workshop through which we create actually a very strong workforce for our national needs. It not only serves the nation, but it also serves the Western world, where there is a tremendous growth of IoT, tremendous growth of smart solutions and AI. So perhaps, Mane, this is something I feel very good. I'm very fortunate that I was listening to very, very good speakers this morning. And all my thanks goes to my colleagues of FSIT, the colleagues who are actually presenting here. And, this
Dr. Said Bhai, we cannot hear you. I cannot hear you. Maybe others are hearing.
I think there is some technical issues. So thank you so much. So Dr. Hussain sir, I hope we can reconnect again. Before we move forward,
now suddenly, Sadia, my system had a AI, realized that I'm talking too much nonsense. So my system took me out.
That's a good humor, but that's not correct.
And that's why I was talking nonsense. My system realized. I was so happy that my system pushed me out. You get out now. Thank you so much. Thank
of
you, sir.
course, you're not, sir. Your words were really inspiring, and we hope to listen from you again. So before we move forward, we have a question for Dr. Khan. It's from MD Imad Hussain Likhon from Daffodil International University. He wanted to know that, as you mentioned, Microsoft had already invested in developing AI professionals in India. So, according to your perceptions, I'm sorry, what necessary steps should be taken to gain this kind of sight towards Bangladesh, or where we should focus on for our students?
So, good question, Mr. Emdad Hussain, right? So, yeah, thank you very much for that question. So, what we are doing together with DIU's main goal is to prepare students so they are ready, they become AI professionals and help Bangladesh and abroad. And so there are two things here. Microsoft is doing in India because India has a much bigger presence in the whole IT world, right? So, because of that, Microsoft decided it's for Microsoft's own use, not for other companies, right? What we are trying to do is little different. We are trying to do it for, for anyone. Anyone means partners of Daffodil University, right? And then global in a sense that some of the projects in the long run will also go from US to Bangladesh and to DIU's partners in other places, right? So once that grows, then a lot more jobs will flow to Bangladesh, and then it will be time for other big companies to try to create. But if it goes well, then we also will be a big driver to create that kind of resources more and more as the demand will grow. I hope that answers your question. If you have follow-up questions, please feel free to ask.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for your wonderful answer. Now, as we are near to the conclusion of our session, I'd like to invite Dr. Sheikh Rashid Haider Noori, Professor and Head of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much. So, good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the organizing committee, I'd like to express our heartfelt gratitude to all those who made today's webinar a success. First of all, we extend our sincere thanks to our esteemed keynote speakers, Professor Dr. Emdad Khan and Professor Dr. MD Mizanur Rahoman for sharing their valuable insight and expertise. Your presentation have opened our mind to a vast potential AI holds for transforming both agriculture and healthcare. A special thanks to our session chair, Professor Dr. Syed Akhtar Hussain Sir, Dean FSIT, for guiding the discussion with wisdom. And we are equally grateful to our guest of honor, Dr. Muhammad Nurzaman, CEO of Daffodil Family, for his inspiring presence and continued support. A huge thanks to Dr. Sarar Hussain Molla and Department of Computer Science and Engineering for organizing this remarkable event. Our appreciation also goes to all faculty members and senior students of FSIT for their enthusiastic participation. Thank you all once again for being a part of this enriching session. Let us carry forward the knowledge gained today into our academic and professional journey. Thank you and have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate your efforts for making this event possible today. Now we have certificates to show for our guests who have spoken in today's webinar. I'd like to request the technical team to show the certificates. We can see the certificate of Professor Dr. MD Mizanur Rahman. Can
Thank
we
you,
move
Dr.
forward?
Mizan. We give a claps. Thank you so much for presenting.
Can we move forward?
Shujan, are you not listening?
After that, we would like to present our gratitude and certificate to our honorable guest, Dr. Emdad Khan. I'd like to request the technical team to present the certificate. We are taking a moment to present the certificate to our honorable guest, Dr. Emdad Khan, and our technical team is working to present the certificate. Okay.
No worries. Okay.
Thank you so much, Rafiq Bhai. Rafiq Bhai, we missed him. Despite Rafiq Bhai, if you are here, can you please put up some words for us? If you are here.
I think, unfortunately, he is not with us right now. Can we move forward? Yes. Now we can see the.
Emdad Bhai, it is a very
appreciation.
little nothing. Please do not look at it that way. It's a very simple one, but we are so proud that you deliver us your thoughts today. And hopefully we will come up with something very quick and as per our plan, inshallah. Emdad Bhai, thank you so much. On behalf of our
Said Bhai,
all colleagues.
Said Bhai, thank you so much for your nice comments. And I didn't expect certificates, so you were formalized everything, which is great.
But you're getting certificate. Perhaps this is the best certificate ever. It's not compared
Sure.
to other certificates.
Sure. No, I think it was a great meeting and listen to all the speakers and it is good. And your comments on drone and robots and all those things, these are good. You know, these in this world, there are brainy people. There are good brains all over the world. Now we have a platform where no matter who lives, he or she can contribute at the world
True,
level.
Emdad bhai, absolutely true. You're right. You know,
So
that's actually the world is very flat now.
Right, right. And our effort to grow AI professionals hopefully will use that in a more strong way and making it more successful.
Sadia, we have 30 seconds left.
Thank you so
The
much,
link-
everyone. We
Yeah.
hope we can listen from our guest again in another webinar one day. And
We want to
I
take a
wish-
picture. If we all can turn on the camera
Yes.
and take a picture, Sadia, it would be
Yes.
nice. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, Emdad bhai. I was very
Thank
happy
you.
to listen to you. My colleagues, thank you so much. Ekta chobi. Sadia, can you take a
sir.
I also thank you everyone for giving me the opportunity. And actually, I was inside a classroom, and I was conducting a class on numerical analysis. And so a lot of students actually having some
Sorry that we
discussion.
caused you
So that
additional
was
pain.
an
Yeah,
interaction. Sorry for that.
problem. Dr. Mizanur.
But I hope to work together in future. I would particularly thank you, Dr. Emdad Khan, for giving this kind of insight. So I hope to see in future
We have 10 seconds left,
to
Sadia.
work something together. So
Thank
thank
you
you very
so
much.
much. Emdad bhai.
Thank
Assalamu
you. Thank
alaikum.
you.
Have a long live. Have a good sleep. Thank you so much. Very late night.